Logistics outsourcing. This chapter we have already seen. Now, as I told you this, we are now into the last part of the subject, logistics and supply chain management. So this logistics outsourcing we have already seen. Next is, you can see over here, logistics in the global environment, or what are the trends in the global environment when it comes to logistics and supply chain management. Now here you can see it's a very general topic. Due to globalization, all of you know the meaning of globalization. Globalization की वजह से the countries have opened the doors. It's now easy to do the business with countries all over the world. There are limited restrictions. It is easy for importing, exporting. Of course, all the rules and regulations are still there in force, but still compared to earlier times, it is easy to do business in a global way. So the globalization, and that is the meaning of globalization, opening the door, opening the doors of our country or opening the national boundaries of the country. And along with that, with the advancement, as mentioned over here, due to advancement and development of technologies, entire world has become a single global market. Sitting at your home, it's now very easy to place an order for a good which is being manufactured in some other country. And we can say that it has actually improved the quality of business as well, quality of the services provided by the business enterprises, and there is much more to do in this area. So how logistics and supply chain management is affected over here? Now, what is global supply chain management? It is a management of flow of goods across the countries. It includes the movement and storage of raw materials, work in process inventory, and finished goods right from the point of origin to the point of consumption all over the world. We already know the meaning of logistics and supply chain management. Logistics means, or it is actually the movement of information and goods and services from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Now, when this is happening throughout the world or all over the world, simply that is global supply chain. Now, it has gained huge importance because of the increased globalization and offshore outsourcing or offshore sourcing, because the countries are doing the work not only limited to their country, not they are manufacturing the products not only for the customers of their own country, but instead for the customers who are located, who are situated worldwide. So the objective of global supply chain management and all, it's the same as that of the traditional or the domestic supply chain management. That is to reduce the cost of procurement, decrease risk related to purchasing activities, make the customer satisfied. But the things are happening in a wider viewpoint when it comes to the local or domestic or national level supply chain management, as well as that of a global supply chain, because we should understand that the rules and regulations will change when we are moving out of the country. Now, to an extent, we can say that within the country, the rules and regulations regarding to transportation, regarding to various laws, all are same, all are uniform throughout our country. But like with respect to moving goods, with respect to using warehouses and all. But when we are going across the boundaries, when we are crossing the boundaries, things will not be the same. Transportation of goods within the country is much more easier, but between different countries is much more complicated, and we should also take into consideration about the transportation mode which we are going to use, insurance coverage, packaging, documentation as per the law of land. As per law of land means the law of the land, the rules and regulations of the land to which or with which we are going to conduct the business. That is also equally important. So it is having a wider perspective, we can say, as compared to the domestic or traditional supply chain management. Documentation is a very important activity over here, because when we are doing business, like in India, what happens to an extent, we can say that we have to follow the laws, only the laws which are restricted in our country when we are doing business internally. But when we are doing business outside, documents are very important. And the important documents involved are export license, consular invoice, commercial invoice, bill of lading, certificate of origin, and many more. Bill of lading is very important. So be it waterways, be it the transportation mode, let it be airways, waterways, or whatever it is, all these documents are supposed to be carefully noted down. Then other factors, like we can say, the condition on the other world, condition like we can say the politics in the other world, the economic conditions in the other part of the country, then the stricter or stricter laws and regulations in the other part of the country, any other part of the world. In fact, all these also will affect the supply chain management activities at a global level. That's what's a very challenging task. Here one example is given about McDonald's. Please go through that. I'm not reading that now. You can just go through that. Now, what is the impact of globalization and logistics and supply chain management? As I told you, already mentioned, the same thing is repeated again. It has made the world into a single global market, isn't it? There's a single global market now. And what is happening over here? Definitely, it is bringing more and more opportunities for different companies. Now, the customers are not limited to a particular country. Instead, as I told you, the customers are spread or dispersed throughout the world. You're not making product for the customers of one particular country, but instead for the people situated world around. So it has brought more opportunities and risk as well for the companies. They have got more customers, new markets, even markets which have not been explored earlier. At the same time, competition is also increasing day by day. Then there is, as I told, there is new market for good, new services, new resources, new suppliers, and even new pools of labor. When we were discussing about outsourcing and all, we have seen that India is considered as one of the topmost preferred location or topmost preferred destination for outsourcing, because we have a good number of youngsters, educated youngsters who are ready to work with good infrastructure facilities in our country. That is, new pools of labor means when we look around, we can see that India is a preferred destination. That's why more and more companies prefer to give outsourcing to our country. That is why there is booming of call center jobs in the country. Then there is all these are opportunities actually. Similarly, all these also have helped to reduce the cost for the company and focus on core competencies. Focusing on core competencies and outsourcing the non-core competencies, non-core activities. Then, along with that, role of IT. Of course, since ancient times, we know that trade used to exist in different parts of the world. That is how Portuguese people came to our country very long years and years ago, ancient history. Like that, so many other countries started like for trade purpose, they initially came to our country. But now what has happened? Now also this is continuing, but it has been in a much more advanced manner. Thanks to good connectivity with respect to transportation, good connectivity with respect to information technology, it is now much more easier to do the business. Same way, globalization has also forced the countries and companies to become much more efficient, create good infrastructure and competitive advantage as well, so that they can survive in the market better. At the same time, there are lots of challenges as well. As I told you, distances. Companies spread over different countries. Now, it becomes difficult. Transportation becomes an important factor. Suppliers' number has increased. Customers' numbers have increased. They are all dispersed. There are plants spread out throughout the world. So there can be a possibility that there could be little bit difficulty in maintaining a good control over their operations. Means the logistics and supply chain activities have become wider and it is functioning in a global level now. Then some trends over here. Global logistic trends. Production is being brought close to the end user because as I told you, more and more customers, number of customers are increasing. There is more requirement for increased labor requirements, and also it becomes difficult when the production is happening somewhere else. So production needs to be brought nearer to the destinations, nearer to the markets, so which will help in reducing the transportation cost, shorter lead time, and even easier planning of all the logistic flows like information flow, product flow, and all. Then focusing on large vessels for transportation. Vessels means normally we call vessels as larger ships and all. Nowadays, very large ships. Nowadays, we can see that more and more companies are investing in such large vessels, which makes the transportation easier. So that because waterways is one of the preferred transportation mode even now because of its cost worthiness. Though it will take a little bit more time, but when we compare the cost, it is much more feasible for the companies or viable for the companies for going for that. So larger the vessel, when the size of the ship is very large, we can say that lower will be the cost per unit. We can put more and more products into that. Another important thing is focusing on green logistics. The first module we had seen what is green logistics. Green logistics refers to different activities and attempts undertaken by companies in order to minimize the harmful impact on the environment. So here also we can say that there is companies are becoming more and more aware about the environmental issues. There are lots of pollution happening, then throwing of waste, discarding plastics, and also there has been effort from the company's side in order to focus on green logistics. How? Go for transportation methods which are less pollutive. Here one last line you can see. Recent trend is to reduce transportation by airways and roadways and focus on railways for environmental concerns. So this is again another trend. Continued investment in IT solutions, because it is because of IT or information technology, there has been such a very huge leap in this area. And when the supply chain management is becoming more and more complex, we need to deal with large number of customers, large number of suppliers, middlemen, intermediaries, and all. So we need to facilitate better communication over here, better coordination, traceability, trackability of the products, and even transparency among all the members. So IT plays a very major role over here now. Then e-commerce. There is tremendous growth in this area. Today I was taking another lecture about which was emphasizing on e-commerce. How e-commerce has actually become a part and parcel of our life, especially nowadays. It's much more convenient. It eliminates unwanted time, or like we can say, sitting at our home 24/7, the shopping experience becomes quite a convenient experience for the customers. This also has one way contributed to the growth of logistics and supply chain management. Then definitely globalization is also a factor. Ethical supply chain. What is ethical supply chain? There is now much more awareness among the customers regarding the goods which they are placing order for, and which they are buying. People have become much more environmental conscious, societal conscious as well. And customers they come forward in order to, we can say, they even try to avoid such products which are not manufactured ethically, which are not sourced in the right way, and all. Like there is a group of people known as LOHAS. LOHAS means lifestyle of health and sustainability living. Lifestyle of health and sustainability living. Such group of people are all like, they go for such products which are not at all harmful or which are actually promoting sustainable development. Then supply chain is becoming much more and more complex nowadays. Now, some issues over here, issues and challenges over here. Increasing fluctuation in customer demand. If we are doing business in a domestic level, we have to be concerned only about the domestic, our country people only. But when the global marketplace means, we have to become much more aware about the demand concern about the people all over the world, which may be quite difficult to predict. So this makes it difficult for the company to make a proper forecast, as the customers are belonging to different countries, different bases, different behavior, different characteristics, in fact, different liking, different taste and preferences, and also it becomes difficult. Increased complexity also in the supply chain. The global network will be having suppliers somewhere, customers somewhere, factories or plants situated somewhere. It becomes difficult to manage all these things. Then political and legal differences. The political environment in all the countries are not going to be the same. Even legal requirements will vary from country to country. And more the complexity in the political legal environment, that also becomes difficult for doing the business. Like we can say, political legal environment is not exactly the same in all the states in our country as well. I told you, I don't know whether I have shared with you, it's very easy to start up a business in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka and all, Andhra and all. At the same time, even though being a part of the southern group of states, it's very difficult to start a business in Kerala and set up a business and run the business in Kerala. That is why most of these people shift to the neighboring states. It's comparatively very easy to start a business in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra and all, and Telangana and all, even though all are belonging to that same side. So this is just example of within the country. So just imagine when we are moving outside, the conditions become much more difficult. Then cultural differences again. Cultural differences, because the consumers are of different background, like different culture, different religion, different region. This also will affect the product. Then currency unit differences, the currency fluctuations, the currency convertibility, currency exchange rate fluctuations. There may also be differences in the economic system of the country, the monetary system and regulations of different countries, because we know that the currency and all, and when we are converting it also, there will be differences in the values and all. Language difference, that is again another issue. High cost of transportation. When the markets are far away, transport, definitely we know that the transportation cost will be very high. Even time taken for the delivery also becomes longer. When the distance is increasing, associated cost also will be increasing. Like the people also, the laborers also would be hired more. We require more people, more fuel expense. So there is high cost of transportation when we are doing business in a global level. So definitely we can say that there are positive aspects as well as negative aspects, some challenges as well. These are some of the issues or challenges in the global supply chain management. At the same time, this is growing day by day, because sitting now we can say that is especially specifically we can say that due to the advancement of information technology, due to this immense growth in this field, it has made the world much more short, like we can say smaller and smaller. And it is just like, that's why the entire world is called as a global village. It's shrinking and shrinking, making the people communicate and come together. So this is about that last chapter.